Ready? Greetings, family. Good to be with y'all again today. It's nice and breezy out here because it's hot. And I know it's getting hot where you guys are. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is spring cleaning. Because the spring represents change of seasons. We always think about spring cleaning as far as cleaning our houses, cleaning all our windows, because you went through the winter where some places don't have winter. But what I'm talking about is spring cleaning for the body, because we need to be, can I say, focused, aware that our body goes through the same cycles. So spring cleaning will be a time where you can remember to do internal cleansing out your body. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, spring cleaning. That's what this chapter is called, so that we can begin to understand that we can move with the cycles, and in doing so, heal ourselves. All right, John, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, hey, everybody. This is Alpha Mr. Sami, which I know you know. We are here live in Honduras, and I'm Goddess Aja. Go ahead.
All right.
You got to get the business out of the way.
Yeah, so spring cleaning, what does that really mean? Same thing it means when you go through your house and you start cleansing out all the garbage. Same thing for your body. That's the house. This is the temple for your spirit, your energetic body. So you should cleanse out your temple. And how do you do that? Fasting is one way. Taking herbs that are cleansing herbs is another way. I sell cleansers. I'm sure a lot of folks sell cleansers. So there's a lot of, you can say, options for you to do, partake in, if you're going to really understand what spring cleaning is all about. I want you guys to think about this. We go through our life on a daily basis, yet we don't perceive, we're not aware on a daily basis. You can ask somebody what happened yesterday and they can't tell you. Why? Because they're not being aware of what's going on around them. Why? Where did this lack of awareness come from? Toxicity in the body. If your body is toxic, what does that make your brain? We become unable to focus. We don't know how to adjust our attention so that we can become more aware of everything that's going on, because everything that happens is like everything else. We need to pay attention to it. Nothing is more important than anything else. We need to pay attention to everything, because our environment talks to us. I don't care when you're living in the city, your environment still speaks to you.
Well, it really is a real life living in the matrix, right? What is in your environment is what you see and what you created, because that environment is not true in the same for everyone.
That's true. So, whatever your environment is, wherever you might find yourself, spring cleaning is essential. Mm-hmm. Why? Because what is that allowing you to do? It's allowing you to allow your body to evacuate all the poisons that have thus lived in it. Some folks go their whole life and never cleanse, so they have complications. If you want to be without complications, do a yearly spring cleaning. When I was a kid, my grandmama used to make us go out and buy 10 different kinds of greens. 10. And she would cook those greens in a pot, and we would eat those greens. That was part of the cleansing. The other part of it was that she would give us a teaspoon of castor oil. Disgusting. It was disgusting.
Castor oil was a necessity in everybody's cabinet. Hey. I mean, from the 70s, 80s, I would say like even maybe like into the 90s, like castor oil was in the bathroom cabinet.
It was disgusting. But what did it do? She did that every spring.
Yeah.
I didn't know why she did it. She just would jump up with that whole, hey, Go get these 10 greens. You guys get ready, because we finna go through this spring, because it's springtime. It was innate in her. It's supposed to be innate in all of us that, hey, we went through the winter months, we've gone through, and here, the winter months is no different than the summer months. It's just a lot more rainy. Yet, we all got to go through cleansing, especially when you live in cold places. You've been in your house, eating, going just to work and back home because it's cold. You're not going outside. It's freezing in some places. So now you've accumulated all this stuff in your body, even when you consider yourself eating right. It's still needs cleansing now. We need to understand cleansing. Spring cleaning should be a part of our existence. It benefits us on so many levels. Because when you think about your stomach, your intestines, large and small, we're constantly compacting them with food. And when we give ourselves a chance to take a small break from eating, you put these greens and all these herbs in your body, what do? They start flushing your body out. What do that do? It helps bring more clarity to your thinking. It helps evacuate the lungs of any garbage that have accumulated in them. And it's cleanses out the most important part, your stomach. When people become bagged up, they like messed up plumbing. It's bagged up all the way to your brain.
So, I even think it's cool to talk about, or let them know, spring really represents the new year. Spring is the in the dead of winter, January, December is not the new year. So springtime is when, but even though things are happening, and you think about the plant world, right? So during the wintertime, plants can be dormant and reserving nutrients and so forth. So it can produce when the new year comes around and we start to see blossoms again and we start to see, So yeah, during our winter times, we should be aligning ourselves with the rotation of the earth.
We're a part of it.
We're a part. And it draws on us. We see what it does to the ocean, high tide and low tide. We see
the ocean go through cleansing too. There's times where islanders will tell you, no, it's not a good time to get in the water. It's cleansing. They're sad because they know.
Oh yeah.
Everything goes through a cleansing.
Yeah.
It's us that we neglect because of how we've been taught the essentials that we are a part of this whole cycle that we call life. The earth is not separate from us. We are a part of it.
Yeah. So
springtime is when she start her cleansing and renewing process. Mm-hmm. It's the old adage go. April showers bring May flowers. We are in the second day of May. So what is that saying? Nature is telling us, as well as it shows us in everything that it does. It's a time for renewing. It's a time for cleansing. When we cleanse, trust me, once you start the process, you're gonna love the process. Why? Because you're gonna find that you become more aware of what's going on around you. That plays a big part in how we deal with one another. When you have not allowed yourself to go through a cleansing process, your attitude reflects that. You're angry. You're presumptuous. You're all the things that represent the negative human expression. Why? Because you're sick. You're holding toxins inside. People who go their whole life and never stop eating is the most toxic beings on this planet. Why? Think about it. You're eating constantly. You never give your stomach a chance to cleanse and rest itself. There's toxins in there. I don't care how much you say you eat right. You have to give your body a chance to rest.
So, let me ask you a question, because we're talking about the physical,
yeah,
right?
We're talking about the physical.
Well, that's the physical portion of it. But what about the spring cleaning, the inner work?
But that's where the outer work comes into a big play. When our bodies is toxic. I don't care how much you want to believe you are spiritual, you are deluding yourself. Okay?
But as a man thinketh, so is he. So then it follows the mind, the body follows the mind.
Right. So
right?
if you're toxic, how your mind gonna be right? It's
exactly.
toxic too.
So that's all I'm saying. If the body is toxic, the mind is toxic. How do we cleanse a toxic mind?
By cleansing out this colon, cleansing it. I mean, for real. Our stomach is a major part of our existence, and we don't understand that. When your stomach stops releasing toxins, where do those toxins go? All through your body. And where else? Into your brain.
But a toxic mind creates the toxic gut. You can't have it one way or the other.
They all go one and the same. That's why we're talking about spring cleaning right now. Because in cleansing yourself of the toxins that live inside of you, that you have put inside of you, that you live around every day, it gives you a chance. It gives you what I would say is a relief. It relieves some of the pressure that comes from your environment. So, our environment, now, I'm going to say this. This environment do not give me no pressure whatsoever. It allows me to be free, to be me all the time. Why? Because I don't have to deal with the stresses that city life brings. I go to the city to get supplies and come right back. I don't have to live in that every day. But when you're living in that every day, you have more need of spring cleaning than I do. Yet I do it too. Me and Asha here go on fast all the time. And I'm going to tell you, fasting should be part of your spring cleaning. First, go through the cleansing process. After the cleansing process, start a fast. I don't care if it's just 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 11 days, however many days you decide is going to work for you. Because the more you do it, the more you're going to want to do it. Why? Because how do you want to do something? Because you see results. That's one way to see real results in your biological changes. It's not something that somebody's telling you. It's something that you're experiencing for yourself. So I'm saying experience being cleansed, clear, and aware. Because as you cleanse the stomach out, it cleanses the lungs out, it cleanses the throat out, it cleanses the brain out. They all work together. So when everything becomes clear, clean, and clear, now you walking with clarity. You're not stumbling through life. You're not missing anything. And when I say missing anything, I mean as far as your awareness is concerned, you're aware of everything. Why? Because you're aware of yourself. And that's what we come here to do. We come here to be aware. We are beings of awareness, and we're going to get to that in the later chapters, but right now I want to deal with our physical self. We have a lot to do on just our physical bodies because we take them so for granted. We have more concern about keeping our house clean and our cars clean and shiny and our rims clean, and we forget about this that we live in being clean. Because we feel, exempt from poisons when we stuffing garbage in our mouth. We feel like we're exempt from it. I'm not saying you can eat whatever you want, but understand this. Everything you put in your mouth is going to have an effect. And when you're putting nothing in your mouth, it's going to have an effect too. So, cleaning, spring cleaning. Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm really trying to express to you what I know it do. I live this. It's not something I'm just saying because I just feel like saying it. I go through long spring clean. I do 30 days sometimes, and it's always during the spring. I'll go 5 days of, 5 days of fruit to start it out, and then go through the rest, 20 days of just teas and water, and then 5 more days of fruit, and that completes the 30 days. Now me and her, we choose whatever we want. We might say, well, we're just gonna do 15 days. Or we just going to do 10 days. However many days you do is going to help you. So when you really understand the process, you know that, hey, this body don't just live off of external sustenance. We are energy. So, and when we knowing we are energy, when we allow our bodies to just be energy and not put food in it and allow it to start living off the energy that animates this body anyway, that got this body alive, we start seeing how we can live a brighter, greater, and more beautiful life.
So I wanted to say about fasting, like one of the major things it brings about is discipline. If you can stop eating, which is something you need, and we know we need for fuel, if you can stop eating and control it and control your hunger, then you can control anything.
That's
you can
right.
stop, negative thoughts in your mind. You can stop, the desire to smoke or whatever it is that, you may be struggling with. Stop, entertaining negative, friendships and so forth. So I want to add as well. So when because the physical, yes, let's cleanse the body. But, a toxic mind can't exist with a cleansed body. So while you're cleansing your body and making it whole, the toxicity that exists in our mind. Like, what are we watching on TV? And I feel like that you listen. And I think anime, like a lot when you get into it, is kind of gory. It's like and blood and stuff everywhere. And I'm like, whoa. And I remember, helping her because I liked the fact that she liked something different. But as I went further and further into it, I seen a lot of gore to it. What is that doing if that's what you're intaking all the time? What are the conversations with you and your friends? What are the conversations with you and your spouse? What is the pervading thoughts that you entertain on a regular basis? And those are the things that when you're fasting, you come to see it because you're trying to keep peace in your body, but then you see your mind or the vibration that you're on is drawn to you. So you can be all fast and then you go out and get into an argument with somebody at Starbucks or whatever, the grocery store, or a coworker, or whatever. But so as you cleanse your body, work on the mind because they have to be in congruency.
Exactly.
They
must be in unity.
Yeah.
That's what our bodies is. That's what being whole is. What is being holy? That means you're allowing yourself to be your whole self. Most of us don't even have a clue what that is. I hear so oftentimes people go, you don't know me. You ain't been around me. I don't have to know you on the level that you think you know you. All I have to do is know myself, and I can see you clear. Why? Because knowing yourself, you come to know everything else around you. But what happens with us is that we know absolutely nothing about ourselves. So then we always want to know about everybody else. And there's nothing you can know about them outside of what you know of yourself. So then you see everybody from the lenses that you're looking through. So when I always tell people, when you say negative things about people, always watch. Because what you're saying, you're reflecting on what you yourself is thinking.
So we see things as
we are.
What you see, because there's a whole lot happening around, but it's what you pick up. It's what sticks to you. Because we can be in the same place at the same time and watch the same incident and pick up different things stick to us from our experience or the way we view it. So we see things as we are.
And that's what spring cleaning is so important. When I say this, I don't know how to stop saying it because it's one of the most valuable things we can do for ourselves. Why? Because we get into these routines of doing what we think or what we've been taught is good. But then we have to stop and think and go, well, all this that I think that I know, where did it come from? What happens, that's why I love when people take out the time to come here. Because it gives them a different experience from what they've been dealing with there. Or wherever you come from. Or wherever you go that's different than where you are. It gives you opportunity to see something different. We get so caught up in our routines that we think that the whole world is just a routine that we live in. When the whole world ain't even close. That's just such a minute part of our existence. And yet we think it's all world because it's our routine. When we start changing that routine, everything begins to change. A whole new world opens up to you. We forget about the beauties and mysteries that live all around us. And most importantly, we forget about the beauty and mystery that live within us.
So, because
go ahead.
So I wanted to say this is Asami is currently in the process of writing a book. And was it the How to Be Human? Or To Be Human? We're working on the title. And, so we've come to, this is about the 4th or 5th chapter, and it's titled Spring Cleaning. So welcome everybody who came in after we started. It's good to see everyone. I know we met a few of you, well, mostly everyone at the pool last night. Yeah, I think you're the only one I haven't met. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. So welcome. And
welcome.
Also we wanted to just open up, if you have any questions, we don't mind, just, throwing them at Asami or myself.
Yes, we encourage interaction.
Yeah, this is not a talk at. Right. This is a conversation, because, that's where the information will come from. The energy that's in the room or out here in the jungle of Honduras right now.
Yeah, I had a question. You mentioned earlier, that you should focus on cleansing and then fasting after. Can you elaborate a bit more on that? Because I did see. I've been following what you guys been doing, but Dad been doing all of that because I started to follow the alkaline way of living 4.5 years ago, and it helps tremendously. But of course, all I was just learning is on what's on YouTube, and I started doing the fasting. I fasted 12 days, but I was cleansing at the same time because I was learning. So can you elaborate more on that?
Sure.
You said
I'd be glad to.
Then fast.
All right, so that's why you heard me say what I would do is I would go 5 days with just fruit. And then I would go to 20 days with just water and tea, and then the other 5 days with fruit again. Now I'm going to explain why. When you start ingesting fruit, just fruit, what it start doing is start cleansing all your tissues out. And after 3 days, what it's doing is causing your body to start rebuilding new cells. Just like that. So 5 days of just eating fruit gives your body, you can say, foundation for you to start the fast where your body have all the nutrients that it needs at that point to where you can go those however many days you decide. I decided 20. And then when I was coming off, I went back to eating fruit. Why? Because then it allowed my digestive system to ease back in slowly into eating. And I start out with juices and I eat the fruit. And your body go back into its regular metabolistic digestive system.
Which top 3 fruits?
Whatever fruit is in season that is natural. I don't even want to say organic, but that's natural in your environment.
Right. So I'm going to say, one of my, I don't like to say what my favorite stuff is because people are like, oh, well, he like this. I want you guys to be creative. But for myself, I love orange watermelon. And the times I would fast, they always had orange watermelon. I would eat yellow dragon fruit. That is the sweetest of the dragon fruit as far as I'm concerned. I would eat oranges, and I mean, fruit, grapes, cherries.
You can eat whatever fruit.
Cherries is a natural diuretic. You eat cherries, it's gonna poop you, man. You're gonna have to go to the bathroom. Cherries is delicious, yet they send you right to that toilet. And all the fruit does good things in our body. So I want you to consider. Now you eating fruit for 5 days. That is cleansing your body and regenerating cells. And then you go on this fast. Now your body is prepared to go without any sustenance whatsoever. And while you're going through that fast, man, your whole being starts changing. For real, your being starts changing. Why? Because now you're not having the intake of food, so now you can concentrate on other things. And when I tell you, you don't get weak, you don't get weak. People have this idea in their brain that, when I'm fasting, I can't do nothing. That's a lie. That is the furthest thing from the truth. We be fasting and out there digging in dirt and doing sometimes I work harder when I'm fasting than when I'm not. Yet you got to be aware that you don't want to overdo it, because now you're not putting no nutrients in your body.
Energy.
Food is fuel. So then now you're not using food as fuel. So now what you got to rely on as fuel is your own energy.
So look, I also wanted to add, there are some great videos on YouTube about the benefits of fasting, and that will break down at what stage your body is in after a certain amount of hours with no food. Once you hit once you get to 72 hours, your body is turned magical. And it really starts to get rid of, bad things, bad cells, unhelpful cells, and it starts to regenerate and put those new cells in with the information that is conducive to life. It starts getting rid and really cleansing and purging just all of that. And I like to say, for me, and maybe it's because I say it, but once I hit day 7, I just have like a total release of everything in my body. It kind of I'll just to be frank with you guys, in the restroom, it's like all black, what's in the toilet, and I'm like, what the hell was that? I haven't had anything to eat in days. But it always happens around day 7, my body goes through a complete purge, and then I'm on cruise control. And the rest of the days just become when, and if I want to stop fasting. When do I want to stop? Because now you're on cruise control and your body is recreating and replenishing itself.
All your cells. Really, I'm going to say this. After you finish with it real fast, you are a new person.
Yeah.
And so, in being a new person, we have to start understanding. We can take our old idea of ourselves and bring into that new person that we just created and start with the same negative verbiage.
Right.
Because we got to remember what we say means everything.
Right.
So when you say, I don't think I'm going to be able to complete this fast, I am hungry, what are you doing to yourself? You're telling yourself you're not going to finish and you're hungry.
No, billions of cells in your body go to work to make that thought true.
Exactly, because you spoke it. But when you allow yourself to speak to yourself in a high vibrational and uplifting way, you get the same results on the opposite side. You go, oh man, I'm feeling great, man. My body is strong. I can just feel the light bursting out of me. Your body got to conform to that too. So then, the same energy that it takes to weaken ourselves is that same energy that it takes to strengthen ourselves. So then I ask, which one you want to choose? Do you want to continue to put weakness out into the universe about who you are, or do you want to put strength out into the universe about who you are? And folks go, well, I don't want to lie. Well, both of them is a lie for real. Because if you really know who you are, you know you are complete. You're neither sick nor healthy. You are whole. So, if you're going to lie to yourself on the positive side, not on the negative side. Because you're going to get results from either one. So we have to start being aware of how we approach life in general, because we've been taught so much garbage. And it's not that they teach us garbage because they just like teaching garbage. They teach garbage because that's the only way they can control people who are thinking people. They know if you are compromised in your thinking, they can control you.
So I like to say with that control, I think COVID is the best real live experience we have of like knowing information and watching control be handed down. I mean, I think COVID gives us a great
it really does.
insight into how fear can be dropped into our minds, and we can play it on TV over and over again, and then we're like, oh my God, don't come over here, I won't go over there, we're going to, because we don't want to die. Next thing you know, people are dropping like flies. Is it that, I have to say this, KRS-One has a YouTube video. I love KRS-One.
I do too.
Get you thinking. But he has a YouTube video that really breaks down, it gives just an insight on who we are as gods. I know that's controversial because we like to, but who we are as gods, male and female. And he talks about the mind and how if we all have an agreement on something, then it has to be. So all we have to do is agree. And he says, so all we have to do is agree that jail does not exist. And prison can go away for us. The way we see ourselves as, as people of color or humanity. Because humanity, the bar looks pretty low right now.
It is extremely
like
low.
Our human expression is not. And we always look to the past and be like, oh, they did that. But we are them.
Right.
That's us.
Who's that day that did
and
all
why
these
are we not
marvelous
pyramids
and all this stuff, and so then we see ourselves as being inferior when we have all the knowledge that they have and the knowledge that we have, yet we see ourselves as inferior. What is that? Where did that come from? Do we ever stop and check ourselves and go, that is not my thought?
I'm going to give you a more personal example. Let's take COVID away. How about friendships? You can go where I can go somewhere, and let's say we're going to meet someone else that I know. 2 people I know. And I say to him, so-and-so is nice. But that other one, they're trash. I don't like them. They lie, they this, they that, they da. So before he even meets the person, I've implanted something in him. I put seeds in. And all they got to do is something a little off the way, and it starts to water it in the person's mind. Oh, yeah, they trash like she said. He trusts me, right? Like, why would I tell him a lie? But it could be a lie for him and just my truth. Gotta watch what's being implanted that are really not your original thoughts that you take as your own.
Good one, baby. Hey, that's why I love it. We make a good team. Go ahead.
Somebody asked, do you recommend exercise during fasting?
Yes, very much so.
I would work on how strenuous it is. Like, where are you? Like, so here we work out outside. So then we watch what time of day we're going to work out because the sun is high and up. So it has to be super early or later on. So we're not, being evaporated by the sun while we're trying to, work out. And sometimes, you can find shelter, make sure you're drinking water. I wouldn't do a dry fast and work out. If you're doing a dry fast and you're not having water, then no, I would not work out.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm done.
Oh.
For everybody else to ask the question.
I understand the cleansing and fasting, but what do you think is sustainable for living in a city?
Say that again.
What's sustainable for living in the city?
What's sustainable for living in the city? Get out of the city.
I mean, it really...
No, but it's easy to find. I'm gonna say this. People don't. I think a lot of us are unaware that when you're living in the city, everything is higher. You're going to pay higher rent. You're going to pay higher everything. You move just a little bit out the city, you find better deals. And above all that, you find a little bit more peace.
But when money ain't a thing, and you can live in the city with no regrets, and you have money to live lavishly in the city. So I would say we're like the absence of life, so plant life and things being around. So make sure you have plants in your home, things that are living. The absence of or the interference of having so many people close to you, because we do pick up on each other. And so now you have all of these hundreds and thousands of vibrations berating you, and you don't understand why you wake up in a funk, feel a certain way, because maybe the woman next door is getting abused and beat, and you're right here. That little sheetrock wall does not separate those energies. So along with what's on everyone else's TV and depression and the news constantly saying everyone is depressed and everyone is not feeling good. All of these pervading energies are right there in one place in the city and ascending on you. And then our receptors. So what's happening with the pineal gland, and are you able to receive? Are you meditating? Are you going within? Can you feel when things are off and say, you know what, this isn't right, I need to leave? And then the answer to that is you'll know, because it'll manifest itself in your everyday life. Did you just get into an accident yesterday? Oh, you wasn't paying attention. That's what an accident is. We don't like to... You weren't in the moment and something happened where probably if you listen, you would have avoided it. You would have been 2 minutes before or after it. How do you navigate your body and yourself and your spirit around in this world free of all of that? That's when you see the intentionality of what you're doing. Disease in the body. Are you intentionality about what you're doing?
I like that. I was sitting here enjoying it. Go ahead, girl, preach on.
So being in the city, like, we have to say, what is it that we're willing to give up for what we're doing in the city? Why are we there? Because our parents were there. That's where we were born. And why are we in this city? Oh, well, our grandmother moved to Manhattan back in so and so, and now we're just generations in.
I'll give you a good example.
Why?
I lived in Baltimore when she met me. Well, I was living in Silver Springs and moved to Baltimore. She said she hated Baltimore, yet she came and lived there. 2 years, a year.
A year. I did 12 months in Baltimore. I did 12 months in Sing Sing. I did 12 months in Baltimore.
Yeah, we was in Baltimore, and we created a garden right in the middle of that space, and people respected that garden.
Yeah.
They felt refuge in that garden. Why? Because we put a different energy in that space.
Yeah.
People was getting killed down the street and up the street, but that garden was always a safe haven.
Yeah. We would leave and go on vacation. They come back. We see some children around your garden. We got them out of there. Because it was like, because we would be down there 3 in the morning for like sometimes all night. We would just be in the garden. We would have drum circles in there, fires, and the neighborhood would come. And even though the neighborhood was sick, they respected the space and the peace that we brought there, because really they just respected the peace and the energy that we brought.
And that's how you change little things, by being an example of what it is to be different.
Yeah.
Not being afraid of what everybody think about what you're doing. But being open enough. Just like I told them, I said, at first the garden was going to be open to everybody to come. But then when I saw what I was in, I was like, all right, I got to put a fence here. They could easily cross the fence now, but I had to put the border there, let them know, no, you can't just come in here. You can ask, and I will give you what I have to offer, but you're not coming here because I see you guys can't just be given a green light.
Right.
It says law is given to the lawless.
Yeah.
So when you are lawless, then you need law. But when you operate from the spirit, you don't need law. Because you operate in the way the universe wants you to operate. You operating in a way that over supersedes any law. Why? Because your expression is that of the universe itself.
mentioned the pineal gland earlier. I wanted to ask you, I read online in places that certain things like fluoride inhibits it. You know, fluoride's in all the drinking water in America.
Yeah.
And in a lot of toothpaste as well.
Yeah.
Could you like speak on how that could be either treated, avoided? Or...
You have to stop. Like you just basically gave the answer, right? Chlorides and fluoride and so that's why I was wondering why when I was taking my children to the dentist, they were pushing this fluoride treatment, which was separate from, but when you came in, it was like, hey, just like at a general practitioner, hey, do you have these vaccines? So at the dentist, it's like, do you have this fluoride? Yes, it blocks the pineal gland. So and there are ways to tap into it. Meditations you can do. And one of the things that we were doing with Dr. Joe Dispenza is really just following the energy from your root chakra all the way up to your pineal gland and tap it. Like, not physically. Like, but feel it and move the energy, move the light up your body, up your spine, through the chakras, to your pineal glands and tap it. There are crystals around there that'll help reactivate. They're there. All you got to do is tap it and reactivate your pineal gland. But yeah, you can clog it up with foods physically, and you can clog it up mentally with bullshit. Yeah.
I know that was good, girl. I like that. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any YouTube meditations or guided meditations that you like?
So, you know what I've been doing? I tell everybody this all the time. I hope Instagram family has caught it, but there's an app called Gaia, Gaia. And it's a consciousness app. And on there is a guy named Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza does a series called Rewired. And really, the whole series he gives it on a scientific level to the spiritual level, kind of like marries the two and helps you understand how to change who the hell you are so you can have different results or the results that you desire to see. And it's 13 episodes. They're about 30 minutes long, and I highly recommend it. We highly recommend it. We love that series, and it gives you that gives you actual ways to help rewire yourself. So he has meditations on there for just that, like the one I was just talking about with moving it up. Like he does that in a meditation on YouTube. Dr. Joe Dispenza would probably like to say subscribe and whatever to his stuff. I'm just sending them your way, Dr. Joe. Look it up on YouTube, guys.
What was the name of the series?
Rewired.
And it is an excellent series because he gives actual exercises that you can do, that you can measure. You know, a lot of us, like I always tell her, people are all the same. They talk differently, but they're the same.
Yeah.
A psychiatrist that's teaching psychology in a school, he gets up and paints this beautiful picture about how we are and how life is when we acting out of who we are. And yet he walk out of that classroom and act no different than his students. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we don't act out of our knowledge. We act out of our emotions and our feelings.
And the doctor is not free of illness, is he? Don't doctors get sick? Don't doctors die of cancer? What is that?
Right.
I would hate to have a doctor that died of it. And like, what are you doing, doc?
Right. You're supposed to be healing. You can't heal yourself first. That's the primary prerequisite for talking about healing anybody, is that you heal yourself. Heal thine own self, yes. And then you can start considering healing others. But until you heal yourself, don't you even think about it.
Yeah.
I have people ask me all the time, do you teach people how to be healed? I can't teach nobody how to do nothing. I can only show by example what it is to become who you are. And if that's in you, then you're going to do that. If it's not, you're not going to do it. We just like to sit up and pick and choose things that we think, oh, well, I want to do this because it's fashionable right now. But what did you come here to do? Have you sought out what your purpose is in this life? Because what you come here to do, nobody else on this planet can do.
And it's not to come work a job. It's not to just come bear children. Both. Sponsor or bear. It's not just that. It really is in the work, because look at the small time we really are a parent of a child. And then let the U.S. or different countries get a hold of them. Oh, you grown when you 18 and you don't have to listen. And they try to lower that and lower that. Oh, well, you can do what you want to do. Oh, okay. So really, like about a good 20 years, you have to really care and, see them through. But then they're off on their own. Who are you? Who are we? Who am I? Void of my children. I have 6 children. I love them to death. I love them. No, I love them to life. Because there's no need to die for the love. Let's live for the love. I love them to life. But, I still, now that, the children are of age, their everyday isn't my everyday. They don't even want to tell me everything that they're doing. And that's fine, because I have a life.
Exactly. So, wrapping it up, spring cleaning affects every part of our life.
Can I get 2 more questions?
Oh, you?
Of course. Can I ask you a question? How old are you, if you don't mind telling?
How old do I look?
Well, I don't want to say. You look
56.
well. You look about 50-something.
I'm 54.
Okay.
Yeah. Somewhere I came across, they said that like how we have the 4 seasons, yeah. That you should be eating fruits or vegetables that goes with that season.
Yes.
Is that the case, and why? This is question number 1. Question number 2 is, when we get problems with our teeth or a tooth, we go and they put filling, and they put this mercury filling in it. How does that affect you, as you go forward in life? The reason why I asked the question, because I remember getting 7 of them when I was about 13, 14, and I still have them till now.
Get them out. Take them out. Get them out.
All right, let me answer this.
Okay. Oh, because I have so much to say about even the eating. Can I say something about the eating in seasons?
Go ahead, yes.
Okay, so with the eating in seasons, so we have advanced in technology, so we can have things mailed to us from somewhere else that is not growing where we are. That is really not. If you look at the animal kingdom, right? The animals eat and the plants eat and the insects eat what is available in their environment. That gives them immunities for their environment. It gives them what they need to last in that environment. So what someone needs in Alaska is not what someone needs in Africa. So you eat what grows when it grows, because that's what's best for you at that time, and that's what the earth is showing you.
A quick question to add to follow up on that. Is it that the body needs, because the different foods have different nutrients, is it that the body needs that particular nutrient
At that time.
At that time that food is giving you?
Yes.
For that period?
Yes.
Yes, that is true. And it's also true that if you don't eat the stuff that comes straight out of the environment, it's still, I want you guys to hear me when I say this. When I'm preparing food, I put intent in that food. I put the intent that food is going to be nourishing to my body and it's going to heal my body. I do the same thing for my dogs when I'm fixing their food. That's why I'm so particular about who gives my dog food, because I put intent behind it. So the intent that we put behind what we eating, that's what saying when people go, oh, bless the food, I bless the table. That not just something that was just done. It was a reason behind it.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you putting your intent, you putting your energy into that. So then you're going to get the same energy out of that. When you're growing food, you're putting energy into that plant as you're growing it. So what that plant is going to do, it's going to give you energy back as a thank you. Just like you taking this fruit as a thank you for you putting your energy in it.
The plant knows. The plant is alive and is intelligent. The plant goes through dormant period. Like you don't tell the plant flower, now fruit. Now, you don't say that. You plant the seed, and you water it, and you put it in the right environment, sun or no sun, depending on what that plant needs, and then you expect it to do what's in the intelligence of that seed, of that live species. I think that's interesting because the seeds are alive.
They are.
Put that seed in the ground or where, whatever, similar environment and watch it grow. But you don't have to say anything to the plant, and the plant is going to do what it does according to the earth that it's living on. It doesn't ask you. It has intelligence of its own. And that's where, really in alignment with the earth, then we would be, feeling that process. And while we're nurturing this plant, if we've taken it out of a wild environment, right? While we're nurturing this plant, then we're learning that, okay, it's flowering, okay, it's here. Now it's about the fruit. It's time for me to take of the fruit and buy.
And what was your second question again?
It was one
I think I answered both of them.
Yeah.
No, I think
one was about the mercury.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I want to say this about that. Yes, you need them out of your mouth, because one of the young ladies that I knew was very close to, she died from the mercury leaking into her blood. Although you know how they be so bright silver at first, and as they start turning grayer and darker, you know where the mercury is going? Into your blood. And she had them. She was just starting to get them taken out before they was out. She was dead.
And as we were young, especially if you grew up in urban areas, that's what they put in the silver filling. You got a silver tube. If anything rotted out, they put that silver stuff in there, and you acted like it was silver, but it wasn't, and it's not. So get it out your mouth, and
Yes.
you can do it because I had them.
So
I had a
they're
couple
refilling
of
with
mercury
porcelain
filling. Yeah,
to get that mercury out of your mouth. Bro.
period. And it's simple to do. So just add that on your agenda.
And then do a cleanse.
Yes, and then do a cleanse. Exactly. I think this. We got, yes, ma'am.
I was just going to piggyback on something you said about the intent. One of the things that I was taught is as you're cooking, literally each one of the ingredients that you're picking up, say a prayer for it, right? As I put this eggplant in, may it nourish me to do that.
Right.
And then as you kind of move around in your day, try to toss out prayers just in general, right?
Yes.
Sitting over here in this steam room, may the steam as it envelops me, may I also be surrounded by family that warms my soul and spirit, and not for nothing, but when I'm taking these tonics, it was really hard for me. I'm finishing out week 3. It was really hard for me, week 1. And then my barber was just like, why don't you start praying over that tonic each time you go to take it, saying what you want it to do to your system. And then all of a sudden, it was almost like it was tasteless.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey,
And so it's kind of because you're telling your brain,
It's
nasty.
nasty.
This is going to be tasteless. This is going
Yeah.
to taste like nothing. And as it's going in, it's going to clean my blood.
Beautiful.
Hey, intention is powerful. That's what we are made of. That's what we connect with. So yes, that's powerful. And we need to be conscious of all that we're doing. Instagram family, I hope y'all enjoyed this. You finished already?
No, she didn't do anything.
Why are you shaking your hand? I'm confusing me now.
We still got time.
Thank you all for tuning in.
I do have one more question though.
Oh, all right. Wait, I know she was shaking her
And
head.
sis over here has a question as well, or a statement.
After this, these two, it's cut. It's
Yeah,
done.
we're going to be...
Somebody said, how long should you fast on the root chakra package?
The root
Fast.
chakra pack,
How long should you fast?
21 days minimum. The root chakra pack.
I got you, babe. I heard you. I ain't saying
He
you answered it.
He offers a sexually transmitted disease pack, which helps with, herpes and other viral sexually transmitted diseases. And, so one of the things is that you got to stop having sex. If you infect the area, if your activities have got you to the point where there's a compromise down there, and you have to stop. And it's okay. You back to doing it in no time. Just stop.
Stop.
for a minute and get your body healthy. And it's not even just good for you, but the people that you say you love or care about. Like, care enough about yourself and care enough about them to stop.
Do you have any resources to study the menstrual cycle of women? Because I've been recently learning about just your cycle isn't just those 7 days, it's all the time. So do you have any?
Gosh, I don't have any resources, and it's funny because we talk about this all the time. And Asami, was the one who first introduced me to like women taking their period and burying it during certain times. So I'm gonna look up some sources. Yes.
Because I struggled with, I think it also has to do with what I was eating at the time, but very painful periods.
Yeah.
Or just intense mood swings.
Yeah.
During my cycle.
So a lot of that is the starch intense diet. More starch and the more also animal hormones that's introduced into the body, because then it's not just your hormones, but now you've introduced animal hormones, and then the synthetic animal hormones that the U.S. is putting into everything, even in fruit and vegetables, because they're doing it at a molecular growing level. So, I would say it's 90% diet with cramps, 90% diet. But then there's also the spiritual connection and the natural connection that we have with the earth, that we should be doing certain things when our cycle
All right, y'all.
is present.
It's been a lovely day. I hope y'all enjoy Aja. I enjoy her, so I'm glad she's a part of this now. Y'all see why I'm with her, don't you? Okay, good. Check. Peace.